And we have attendees. And we got Margaret Moran is an attendee, so I'm going to promote her to a panelist. And yeah.
Hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can. Hi, Janice.
Hi, good morning.
And I think we have Eleanor.
Got the email, but we don't have an attachment or a link.
Yeah, we're the email would have had a link, but we're letting you in now, and I think Reg is working on it.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
see.
Okay.
And then we have somebody. What the password is to this meeting here. So I'm going to
allegations detailed in this Norwell police report complement the assault of the girls from the time they were 7 or
You okay? I mean, is it working? Yes.
okay. So let's see. We're missing Penny and Ed, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to start. I'm going to call them, so I'm going on mute first.
They said they didn't get the link, and they got the email, but they didn't get the
All
link.
right, I will send them links to Penny and Ed. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell them I'm sending them an email right now here. Okay, I just sent the email out.
Hey, did you get the link?
no.
We just sent it to you.
I know.
Again.
Got it open here.
Hmm.
Our chairman, hi there.
Mm-hmm.
Invited to the webinar for November 21st, but the typical link that we got, there's no attachment.
No, there just should be a blue line to join the meeting.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, and there's nothing to indicate to join the meeting.
I'm going to send it to them again. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a whole list of phone numbers.
Yeah.
I tell them I'll send it to them again. Okay.
Reg is going to send it out again.
Okay.
Let's see,
I think it's here, but it's not in blue. It's not highlighted.
It's not highlighted to click to join the meeting?
Yeah, all right, I'll send it to them again with a blue one.
Webinar and the US 06 web Zoom. But typically it's in blue letters and it's not. It's in black and white.
Okay, and you can't.
It's here,
All
but
right, I'm sending it again.
it's not a link.
All right, so Reg is sending the link again. You should
Okay.
get it. Like I'm gonna stay with you because
Yeah.
I want to
okay.
make sure that you get it and that you're on.
All right, let me get out of this and get back into my index. Okay. All right, I don't have it yet.
All right. And you got the agenda electronically, right?
Yes.
Because the link is on that as well.
I don't know where the hell it is.
Okay, no worries. Let's see.
I found it.
You found it.
Click on it. See if is it getting us in there?
I was trying to get. I have.
Would have been
Open.
the 24th.
Join meeting. Into your email. Never heard of that before.
Penny on her computer has got a student thing up, but it's asking for an email and a name.
Oh, no. All right.
Oh, just go ahead and put that in and we will promote you here.
Yeah, can you go ahead and put it in?
If he can send it again, one of the two of us will get in there.
So I've sent it twice and tell them to please join the meeting as an attendee if that's what they're being asked to do.
Yeah.
Okay, back in the word.
Yeah.
Gotta be an easier
Yeah,
way.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, here I am.
Good.
Okay.
You're there?
Yep, I'm going to
Alright.
promote them to a panelist and we will overcome Zoom one more time here.
Take care. Happy holidays.
Great, there goes Penny.
So you're both there. Can you hear us okay?
Hey.
All right. Again, Needham Housing Authority vanquishes Zoom here, despite its worst efforts. I think we're all here, so I'm going to start the meeting. This is a special board meeting of the Needham Housing Authority Board of Commissioners, and I'm going to call the roll. Reg Foster is here.
Is here.
Rich Badler's here.
Penny Kirk is here. Janice Bennett is here,
And I note,
finally. Hey,
yes, this is a hybrid meeting is permitted by the amendments to the open meeting law that permits us to do this. And I will also note that the notice of this meeting was duly posted by the clerk, by the secretary of the Needham Housing Authority with the town clerk's office. I think it was last Friday. So I have no chairman's announcements. This is a one agenda item meeting to discuss and understand and hopefully approve a funding application to take advantage of a very sudden opportunity that arose with respect to the public housing innovations. I think it's their third round funding source. It was just announced last month. And we have a guest with us, Matt Zajac of the Needham Housing Authority, who's one of our senior project managers. And Matt, if I could ask you to just unmute yourself, and I think everybody is familiar with who you are and the role you play for our Needham Linden Chambers redevelopment project. Can you outline for the board and our attendees just briefly what is Public Housing Innovations 2024 and its history and what we're trying to do today and what Cambridge is recommending? And you're on mute, by the way.
I think, yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Reg. Appreciate the opportunity to appear here today. as you said, Matt Zajac from the Cambridge Housing Authority. We are excited that the state has made this NOFA available. So historically, the state has provided funding for large public housing redevelopment projects on an ad hoc basis. Whenever they have funding available and the programmatic capacity, they'll release a NOFA to support that project. So for instance, last year, they put a series of notices of funding availability, or NOFAs, out on the street for discrete purposes like the consolidation of 705 properties. The funding availability that we have in front of us is particularly exciting because the state is framing it as the first year of a regular annual appropriation specifically dedicated to the redevelopment and repositioning of state public housing. So the state is making between voucher resources and capital resources about 50 million available this year. They anticipate funding somewhere between 2 to 3 projects with that funding resources. The goal, broadly stated, is to provide resources to housing projects so that their reliance on state ongoing funds is reduced in the future. This makes it an excellent match for the Linden Chambers project, where the development plan, as you're all aware, relates to the project being demolished, redeveloped under a federal basis. Preliminarily, and this may be tweaked a little bit as we move towards the final application, we're envisioning applying for 25 project-based vouchers through the NOFA, as well as 10.4 million in capital funding. The balance between the vouchers and capital funding is something you might be interested in. The 25 vouchers was determined because in the recent versions of the project budget, we had that number of mobile or tenant-based vouchers in the operating budget. We think that by replacing those with project-based vouchers, the project will appear more stable and attractive to financial investors in the future. The preliminary application is a 10-page narrative, and it's due this Friday at 5 p.m. The full application is due in February. The Housing Authority has most pieces of due diligence needed for that application on hand, which is part of why we think an application makes sense. The one piece of the puzzle that really needs a little bit of work is related to documentation of the developer agreement. With that context, I appreciate your time and happy to take any questions you may have.
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Are there any downsides to applying for this funding?
There's no downsides to applying. I think one thing that I would like to put out for everyone's sort of consideration as we apply for it is that the state is really trying to value projects that it sees as shovel ready, as always. And one of the ways in which they articulate that in this NOFA is that they'd like projects to also be applying for if they need money from the new production group at EOHLC, they'd like us to be applying for that money in the same year. That money has a higher bar of readiness to apply for. You have to have your zoning approval. So we're not ready to apply this year. We intend to apply next year. With that said, we think it still makes sense to apply to EOHLC for this new production or for this public housing money this year, because we do think that the project has unique readiness factors, like that we've gone through schematic design and acquired a large amount of money from other sources, including the town's support. We've also heard that there may not be many competitive applications this year due to the short time frame. So in some ways, trying to get in ahead of what we expect to be a very competitive round next year.
I think you have said to me, or Margaret has said to me also, that, you know, it's only 3 applications. So even though your comment about our timing might be fortuitous because of the short turnaround time, it would be not unusual nonetheless that we would apply and be turned down this year and would apply again next year. Typically, there's many more projects than there are dollars to fund worthy projects here. So there's no downside to us applying as well, because you know, at least we will have thrown our hat in the ring and we can do it again next year. And sometimes, you know, that moves you up on the priority list if you apply it a second and third time with a worthy project.
I think that's a great point, Reg. Each of these applications, as long as we are putting in a high quality work product, gets us into the state conversation, and I think moves us ultimately closer to a fully funded project.
Yeah. And are there other questions from the board? I wanted to just say one thing as well, which is that I would, you all know that in this decision memorandum that we received, that the new schematic design cost estimates indicate that the costs of the project have risen since the conceptual design, despite our value engineering effort we did earlier this summer. And one of the major sources of cost increase is the town meeting in Needham passed the new stretch opt-in specialized energy code, which is, we were already a stretch energy code town, one of the earliest towns to adopt that, which requires a higher standard of construction to make the you know, any new structures more energy efficient. But the additional code we adopted this fall is a whole another stretch, if you will, beyond what we already had in place. And so that added, what was it, Matt, about $2.5 million to the cost of the project to meet the, you know, these are very worthy goals. You know, I'm not trying to criticize town meeting at all, or really quite the opposite, but you know, it does cost extra money. And I think it was about overall a 5% increase in the cost of the construction. So just wanted to sort of note that. I note we have one resident with a hand up, and I think I will just rule from the chair that you know, since this affects Linden Chambers residents, that's you know, a legitimate thing to receive resident comment, even though it wasn't on the agenda here. So Ross Donald has his hand up. Ross, I've unmuted you. Let's see if we can hear you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
3 minutes, Ross, just to remind you
Okay.
here, because some
Yep.
people have to leave the meeting shortly here.
Sure thing. Yeah. Thank you for including me as a resident. I think there should be maybe an indicator of the way we should go forward in the future. That is to include the residents in the process. Right
I'm
now,
sorry, could you
otherwise,
comment on the funding proposal, please? Because that's, you know, I don't want you
yeah,
to.
I would comment on it if I'd had a board package, if I knew what it was about. I made that request. The information is not here, you know, but if there is, if there are to be proposals made, I think they should include the residents. And I'd even say that if your proposals that you're, and I'm very interested in innovation, if it doesn't include the residents, then it's not valid. I mentioned request emails in that I'm going to be trying to collect the information, particularly, you know, Reggie, you mentioned a couple of times the work product, 300
please
pages.
limit your comments to the subject at hand here on the agenda, whether or not we should approve an application for $10 million worth of funds in 25 PVV vouchers.
Yeah, you're gonna do what you want, but I'd say it's invalid and unless we have a chance to review it, we being the tenants. And the topic is this is only a small part of the bigger picture. I'm addressing the bigger picture, which I consider the same topic. I don't think it's, I mean, it's certainly legitimate that you could criticize what I'm saying and disallow it, but I think that's part of the problem here. We haven't participated in these things. Just heard about this meeting recently. The Wi-Fi, the last time the Wi-Fi was out, it was out for 12 months.
I'm
It's
sorry,
been
we're
out
not
for
talking
5
about the Wi-Fi. Could you please limit your comments? You've had a presentation. You've listened to the presentation from the Cambridge Housing Authority.
I know.
Do you have any
didn't-
comments about
all right.
that?
Yeah, Reggie, I did not hear the presentation, but because we were working on making the connection here, I'm talking to you over my cell phone, you know?
There was no, it was a verbal presentation, and you stuck your hand up during that presentation. So I'm going to have to assume that you did hear it. So anything else?
No,
you say?
I'm correcting your misapprehension. I did not hear it. I was fussing with the phone here, you know, so.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm sorry about it too, and I'm
Right.
working toward resolving these issues. We have another resident here. Jim, do you want to say anything?
No,
No. Okay.
listen to what
Yeah.
has been said.
Yeah, I'm very interested in what's going on. I think communication is going to be a big part of it. And you're making an application for a $10 million what? I don't know what it is. You know, I'd love to see it.
Source of funding for the Linden Chambers redevelopment project, and you've attended 4 presentations on what that project is about. So that's what it's for. But I hear you're recommending that the board not approve this, and your 3 minutes are up. So we're going to go
Well,
back to our discussion here.
that's not quite accurate. That's not quite accurate. I'm sorry.
What do you
Got
recommend?
his mic off.
Well, you're going to give me more than 3 minutes? Are you
No, I
extending my
heard,
time?
no, I'm not. I did hear what you had to
All right.
say. So thank you. And I appreciate
Well, I
your,
don't think you
your
did hear
interest
what I
in-
had to say.
no. Okay. We'll let the board decide that here. And thank you so much. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other further questions from the board? I will say I respectfully disagree with Mr. Donald's comments myself, and we'll do our best to keep him informed here. So if there's no other discussion, I will ask for a vote. And that if somebody could make the motion that's on the very last page, read it word for word, if you will, because that's, motion and has to be part of the application process here. Who
I
would
don't
like
have it in front of me.
All right. Well, I'll read it. How about that? All right. So I make a motion that the Board of Commissioners of the Needham Housing Authority certifies its approval for the NHA Executive Director to submit a pre-application to the Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities to request approximately 25 moving to work or MRVP vouchers and approximately $10.4 million in moving to work funds or PHIDP capital funds to support the construction of 136 units for the redevelopment of Linden Street as part of the redevelopment of Linden and Chambers project, pursuant to this memorandum from the Cambridge Housing Authority to the Needham Housing Authority, dated November 20th, 2023. So that's the motion.
Second.
It's the 21st.
The memo is dated, I think, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was referenced, and we'll attach the memo to the minutes as a record of this meeting here. So did I hear a second from Janice Bennett?
Yes.
And is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Reg Foster votes yes.
Eleanor Evans votes yes.
Ed Scheidler votes yes.
Penny Kirk, aye.
Janice Bennett votes aye.
Okay, I think it passes unanimously, and thank you very much to Matt and the rest of the Cambridge Housing team. They really had to scramble to get this pulled together in the very, very short time frame between the notice of availability of funds came out and today, and then of course we have the Thanksgiving break, so we're trying to get this thing in no later than tomorrow close of business, so we don't have to take it all the way down to the wire on Friday. And this is great. And especially with the cost pressure on the project, if we can be successful, this will be very helpful. So thank you, everybody. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Janice and seconded by Penny. Hearing no further discussion, Reg Foster votes yes.
Eleanor Evans votes yes.
Ed Scheidler votes yes.
Penny Kirk votes yes.
Janice Bennett votes yes.
And great, we are adjourned. Have a nice Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Happy
Have a nice
Thanksgiving all.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye. Cheryl, can you stay on board here? Because I wanted to just follow up on that one topic with you after everybody leaves the meeting here.
Looks like Ross is still on.
Ross, would you mind logging off? Thank you. And Peter? And we
Okay.
have MK is with us still here. Now,
Margarita's wishing you a happy Thanksgiving.
I wanted to do our little training session first on the how to do the panelist thing, and the mute thing, because you might have a slightly different interface than I do. I'm looking at it in the Mac interface, and you're looking at it in the PC interface. So I might be
Right.
directed, and I just wanted to jump in because I knew everybody had only a short time window today, and then we can talk about Ross.
Okay. Great.
But so I have, if you go to you and I are panelists now.
Yeah.
So if you get the panelist menu, open up the list of panelists on the right.
Right.
You got
Right.
that. And then my first button says invite. What does yours say?
Mine say mute, and then the three dots.
Okay, yeah, mine says, if you broaden the thing, you might get separate buttons, but do the dot.
Yeah, let me go into the dot,
And-
and it says,
Ask to unmute, right?
no,
No.
and that's what I was having,
What's the first thing that says?
it says replace pin, then it says reclaim host, rename, change panelist appearance.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
So there's another,
On the bottom,
I'm not talking about with the dot on the screen that we're looking at here with the black border around it, with us looking at it. I'm talking about on the right where you have a list of invitees.
right,
You've got that open?
yes,
All right. And you got the panels open. It says Reg Foster and Cheryl, right?
as panelist 2, Cheryl Gosman, Reg Foster, yes.
Yeah. And then at the bottom, there's no buttons, right?
So on the bottom, it says invite, mute me,
Yeah.
reclaim host.
It says mute all. And then I have a
It
more.
says mute.
And then I have a more button. So you're looking for wherever that more button is. You just mute yourself here. So I can't hear you.
On the bottom screen, when I go into participants, you know, my only option there is invite or copy invite link. So yeah, I mean,
So there's so I'm gonna I don't think you can share the Zoom window. I think it's not possible. I think it's the one window you can't share here.
this host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's just that there's a missing menu. You don't know where it is here. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at here.
Okay. I have it though when it's, you know, it's when we're in hybrid mode, when we're, you know, in person, I have the ability.
It should be the same.
Yeah, it should be the same. Okay.
So
A little annoying.
look at, do you have an iPhone?
I do.
I'm going to give you a FaceTime call here. Cheryl. FaceTime. Put it on
FaceTime video.
Hi, Reg.
All right. Mute your cell phone mic.
Okay.
Okay, now let's do this. So see, there's the window, and right at the bottom, I have on the right is the screen, if you've seen that, right?
Yep.
And right down here at the bottom, I have those 3 buttons. And then I have this more button, which I'm about to open up.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, is that menu.
Yeah. You know, I don't have that button.
Well,
So-
you have it somewhere else, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it somewhere else. Okay. Yeah. Be in the participant chat. Record, show captions, raise hands, apps, whiteboards. I don't know why I have whiteboards.
So whiteboard is you know how Dan Chen draws things on his screen?
Oh, okay.
It's a little drawing thing that allows you can put your screen up and then you can scribble on it, and then you can erase it like a whiteboard here. So this is what.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah. It's annoying. Oh my God. Yeah, so I don't have a more. I've looked everywhere for more.
Well, it's probably labeled something else here.
Yeah.
So see, you're looking for you being the host, you know, you're God, and you can control what everybody does, and including the panelists. So you can ask them you allow them to unmute themselves or not.
Right.
Allow them to rename themselves or not, and start their video or not.
Yeah. Wonder if you put me back to panelists, because host, currently you're the host.
Okay.
So maybe then.
It doesn't say host. You're right. You didn't make me the co-host. I see. That's maybe what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to hang up on you here on the phone.
Okay, good. Okay.
Hang up that one. Okay, let's do this again. Maybe that's what it is. You are now the host. You're right. So that was the problem.
I see the more.
Okay, now down at the bottom.
Yeah.
You look, carefully at those things. Those are your superpowers as the host.
Yeah. Okay.
And you see there's a middle section where you can.
Oh yeah.
Can do. You can shut them all down.
Yeah.
So you can't see them. And so the reason it exists this way is the host is, sometimes you have panelists, several, for several different topics or presentations. So you hide them, and you don't let them just pop up in the middle of somebody else's presentation or just say something, and then you unmute them, allow, that kind of thing. So, again, and it's that last that you always have to do, again, it's on that list. If
Yeah,
you
I
get
see it.
that list of what you have to do to start up a meeting that I sent you, I can send it to you again.
I know I have it and I use that when I start the
Just-
meetings.
Yeah,
So,
just like, bring a copy with you every time, and then, it's sort of the checklist of what has to happen here.
okay.
So anyway, all right.
All right.
The training session. So,
All right. I'm sorry about that. I
you
really
call-
want to master this and I get a
well,
little frustrated.
yeah, we should master it during training sessions, not when everybody's waiting to start the meeting here. So, because otherwise I started getting texts from everybody saying, hey, what's happening to the meeting? I can't get in. So, you call me about what Ross's
Rossi
request
Booth.
for thousands of pages of documents, that one?
Ross wanted the packet and I felt that I needed to check it. I wasn't going to just send it to him.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead and send him the packet, no problem. I'm sorry. I thought he sent a request for like 1,000 pages of documents, and I thought you were asking me about that.
Oh, no, that I understand that
Yeah.
that's not necessary to,
Mhm.
unreasonable request.
Right.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I'm sure it was okay, but some reason I just felt like I needed to
Right.
connect with you before I sent it over. So I'll send him the packet and the memo and the NOFO. Memo, the NOFO.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm sorry.
No, all right, no
But
worries.
the other email, you're right. I mean, I just looked at that and I knew you
So-
would handle it.
So I'm not going to handle it because you are the public records officer here of the Needham Housing Authority. So one of the trainings that you haven't probably taken is your requirements as the public records officer here. And your requirement, is to respond to, freedom, public records requests, which you could sort of interpret that is what he's doing. And, and the way to, I think, handle this is that, it would, you'd have to charge him $1 a page for that kind of thing. And, assuming that that's not the kind of money he wants to spend. And, just that rolled up, I think he saw that rolled up set of plans that I brought to the last board meeting. Just making one copy of that is, think of it as $1. When I say $1 a page, for those large format copies, that's what Staples charges for that here. Then that's maybe 50 or 100 pages here. So, but what you can say is that, you make available a copy for shared use in the Linden Chambers community room here. And I did order 2 or 3 extra copies from Dan Chen because I saw this thing coming, and I haven't heard from Dan. He was going to make them, but we haven't. So you can say you don't want to charge him for these copies, but you'll make a copy of the schematic plans available, but you have to order it up to have it made.
Great.
Or it can be copied at his expense, but it's not a legitimate use of public funds to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I like
You
that.
can even say, I don't even have a copy, so
I don't have a copy.
yeah. There will be electronic copy available online, if he wants to download that and print it off himself.
Well, the copy is too big. We can't, it won't allow us to send it to him.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, but he had to, that's right. So, anyway, yeah, it's not the email, but our new website is up. Have you had a chance to click it?
No, I have not.
As you and I have the duty to invite everybody,
Okay.
by noon today.
By noon today. Okay.
I volunteered to do I proposed to you that you do the residents and the staff.
Yeah.
and that's not too many. And Chris has given you a little, draft, email you can
Okay.
send out. You can just cut and paste.
Oh,
and-
yeah, I did see that last night.
And then I think the final list is, I came up with a 20 or 30 person list of people.
Okay.
And I can do the rest of them if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
Madam Boss here. You make all
Okay.
the decisions,
All right, and I really don't have time to do the residents, but I will just send,
Can you delegate it to Margarita to do?
yes, that's absolutely right.
And that gives her a good way of having a role, which you're looking for her anyway, right?
That's right.
Remember, you have the big sign right up on top of your screen. I will not do everything myself. I will not do everything myself. Delegate, 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 right?
Okay, you're absolutely right. Okay,
And
that's perfect.
and she can send out Cheryl and I would like to invite you to do this,
Okay.
version and copy you and I would just do it, 5 separate emails, just cut and paste the
Okay.
salutation to it,
Okay,
and then everybody will feel they're special.
perfect. Perfect. Okay,
Anything
Rick and
else
I-
before we let you go here?
Rick and I are meeting today at
Mhm.
1, Rick Shaw.
Mhm.
And you got my email. He plans to be in person
did.
on the 7th.
Right.
So, all good things.
Yeah, we have Maureen Callahan with us as well. Hi, Maureen. It's oh, I'm not the host anymore. Can you turn on Maureen's
Oh, 1 attendee. Okay, good. Maureen, allowed to talk.
promoter to panelist?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's great.
Hey, Maureen. Oh, yeah, here she comes.
Rejoining the meeting. Great. Hi.
I didn't see you
everybody.
there at first, so you might have missed the meeting.
Oh, okay. I was like, I got here a little late because I was out doing something for Rep
It was a
Garlic, but
short one, and I'm glad I noticed you there. Cheryl and I just continued talking on about some things we have going on. But let me give you an update because Rep Garlic would be very interested. So our faithful Cambridge Housing Authority consultants helped us tap into and I'd say new funding source, but it isn't. It's an old funding source that was newly replenished by HLC, called the Public Housing Innovations Project, Innovations Program. So there's
Okay.
$50 million new dollars there up for grabs, and we did a very short turnaround to apply for it. So we did a
okay.
mad scramble, and the reason we had this special board meeting is the pre-applications due on Friday.
Okay.
And such short turnaround notice, like 3 weeks,
It
that
is short.
we are we're in fully baked enough to be able to put in a pre-application with the Linden Chambers project, where other housing authorities, especially with the Thanksgiving break, may not be able to scramble as effectively as we can. So we really put the full court press on to put it in. I'll send you the decision memorandum that Cambridge presented us when and that will sort of outline the whole kit and caboodle and the decision here, which the board authorized here. So
What is the I mean, you said it was at $6 million that they had
we're
replenished the fund?
applying for $10+ million plus 25 housing vouchers. So it's a very significant opportunity.
Okay, wow.
And our total budget for phase 1 is crept above $80 million for the whole thing. And it's gone up another few million because
Building costs.
about the stretch code and the opt-in stretch code, about that stuff.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Needham Town is already a stretch code town, which adds expense, for the worthy cause of energy efficiency. And the town meeting this fall just adopted what they call the specialized opt-in.
Right.
Is one more degree of
Complexity.
energy efficiency, but
Yeah.
it mean that our project costs went up about $5 million when that vote went through town.
Wow. Yeah.
$2.5 million, so getting some more funding sources lined up is really pretty important here. So that's what happened.
Now for this $10 million or plus, is this something that's going to be, I mean, multiple housing authorities or multiple people
So
are trying to get that money? Do they split it? Do they split it up? It's not like there's winner take all?
You'll see in them, I'll send you the notice as well, but what basically, it's not winner take all. The HCD envisions 2 or 3 housing authorities will be awarded something, so,
Okay.
a third of the 10 million is, 17 million bucks. We're trying to put something in that we think has a, very significant effect on our funding for Linden Chambers, but isn't being too greedy to try to grab all of it here. So they've sort of weighed the different pros and, somehow the 10 point something million is the sweet spot here. So
Yeah,
and,
it's a lot of money.
we're very, we're really know what we're doing finally, after years. So pretty good, timing for us here.
Yeah.
And any of the Medfield and any of Denise's other towns would be eligible for that, but they probably wouldn't have the resources that we have to kind of scramble together a pre-application on short notice.
Right. Yeah, that housing authorities, Medfield's is different. They're really, well, they're smaller, but they also don't have the same level of administrative kind of support for that office as they're shared, their director shares with other towns. So it's not, and they don't have this huge project like you guys have. So it's different.
And then other great things that are going on is we've been adopted by the Needham Planning Board. They're meeting on the 7th last week. They decided they'd be the sponsor for the Linden Chambers zoning changes that we need here. So they're out in front, making it an official thing. They're taking the lead on, and we have a meeting she would be that Denise might be interested in on the 6th of December. That's a Wednesday. That's a Wednesday, I think. That at 7 o'clock, where the planning, we're just sending out invitations here. So let me get a list of things I'm going to send you here. Yeah, for Denise things here. 1, PHI notice. 2, PHI memo from Cambridge. 3, December 12/6 planning board community engagement invite. And then I believe Rep. Derelick knows that she's has a meeting on the 29th. She's a member of the TCHOC. So we're also scrambling this week to get that presentation pulled together, because that's going to be critical. And Katie King wants to send it out on Friday as a pre-read to the
in advance. Yeah.
So we're trying to get that done before the Thanksgiving break as well.
It's a lot going on, Reg. I know, during a holiday week, no less.
But it's all good. It's all good. So
that is the more
questions.
I don't think so. I just wasn't sure what was being approved or proposed at this, so I thought I should kind of hop on.
Were you there when Ross Donald was trying to make his comments or not? I didn't.
Today?
Yeah.
No, I was just getting back in from something else, so no, I didn't.
No, he had big complaints that he wasn't part of the process, and he wouldn't know what was going on, and didn't receive the board materials in advance, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
it's hard. There's no making him happy. It's really, hard.
I know he had told me at one point that residents were anxious, that they are worried about the, what happens when they start demo, and then you have to.
Well, that's
obviously move people. And so I think everybody's feeling like he's feeling like they need more information.
So we've had 4 sessions with the residents so far. We had
Okay.
2 this fall,
So,
just that he attended all 4 of them, 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall, and he attends all the other meetings too. So he's
yeah.
going on.
Must
But
have-
the anxiety is absolutely legitimate on everybody.
Yeah.
Let me tell you just again, another thing for right now, our clever architects have come up with a way to build the first phase of the project, which is 76 units, and with only very cleverly only having to demo 4 of the 18 Linden Street buildings. So each building they're all 1 story, has 4 units in it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry, 6 of the buildings, and the other 12 of the buildings can stay there during phase one. Yeah.
construction?
So it's only 24 units that need to be vacated.
Okay.
And our annual turnover on average is about 20.
Is it that high?
Yeah, well, this is
Oh.
all our senior housing. So it's not only, remember, we have 150, we have 152 Linden Chambers senior housing, and then we have another 46 units at Seabed. So if you,
Right.
200 units, and and 20 units is about 10%. And part of it, reason why it's higher is that people kind of age out and have to move into assisted living or something,
Right.
or they
Right.
passed away or
die,
something
yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
and it could be 15 one year and 30 the other year. And of course, some people move on for other sort of personal reasons here.
Yeah.
So it's around 20. So one of the things we can do is a year before we actually start construction, when we get the financing, once we nail down, we can start not admitting new people when vacancies show up.
Oh, right. So that you don't have fewer people to displace.
Yeah, and of course HLC's permission, we need that, but it and a technique. So it may, there's a vision on your view on how we can approach this, given that there's finding new units or available units elsewhere in Needham is virtually impossible.
Boy, yeah, we get calls and it's sad to say that we have no place to send you. Like there's just no place statewide, much less in this region or particularly this town, but it's just such a need.
No, this is so true. And this is, it's taken a long time to get to this point, but we're in the very close to being, possibility of successfully doing something, as opposed to just wringing our hands about it here, which is what's happening most everywhere else.
I'm so glad that there are additional units that are a part of this project, that it's not going to just be even when you're done. They're all new, but they're the same number. It's going to be more, and that's going to really be
and then
needed.
We've got to all help the governor get her $4 billion housing bill through here. So, and that's another heavy lift there. But there's
the MBTA communities and trying to get people to stop fighting that. All these towns that don't want to kind of
It's true, and we're being very welcoming. We're really taking it seriously in Needham, unlike other towns you read about here.
Yeah.
But even when you pass that zoning, developers are not just going to start building stuff. It's still another 10 years to get more production going here. So we're actually doing production, knock on wood, right?
Yep.
Within a couple of years. How about that?
Yeah. Thank goodness. I think, they need a whole lot more of that to start happening. And I think it's the towns that are not directly the MBTA communities, towns that are the ones that are most against it. Dover, people that don't have the train or the bus in their town and feel like, why are we being held to this sort of same, or why are we being asked to do anything? Because we don't really consider ourselves to be in MBTA communities. But I'm glad that the state, frankly, cast a wider net and is actually saying, but people from Dover and Medfield use the trains in Needham. They use that. They're very much customers of the MBTA. So
well, we'll let you go, and I'm glad we had a chance to chat, and
Yeah, me too. And we're gonna meet today, right, Reg, at 2:30? Is that today or is that next week that you were suggesting for the CPC?
Oh. You don't have a mystery thing on my it's today at
2:30,
Yes. Yeah.
if you can still do that.
Yes, I can do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
But over at your house, right?
Yeah, I'm on crutches and on a scooter. I can't,
Yeah, definitely there. So I will see you
Okay.
shortly.
okay, very
Take
good.
care. Bye.
Thanks. See you later.
Hi, Rich.
I think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, if I don't see you before, have a great Thanksgiving.
thank
and
you. You as well. To you
Get
and
some
your family.
downtown. Get those battery. I command you to recharge your batteries a little bit. Okay.
Done.
All
Okay.
those other problems, they'll still be there
Yeah.
next Monday here.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.